Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I never imagined that one sentence, just 6 careless words, could reroute the entire direction of my marriage. But the night I looked at my husband and blurted out, "You make everything sexual." It's gross, I unknowingly cut deeper than I realized. Now, half a year later, I'm left staring at the distance between us, wondering if that one moment of exhaustion and anger is what broke us for good. He hasn't laid a hand on me since. I'm 28, and for the first 3 years of our marriage, I truly believed I had the kind of relationship people envy. Daniel adored me in a way that felt cinematic, overflowing, constant, passionate. He told me daily that I was stunning, that he couldn't believe I chose him, that everything about me captivated him. His affection was physical and unrestrained. He'd tug me in for a kiss whenever we crossed paths. He'd wrap his arms around me when I was at the stove, kiss my shoulder, tap my hips when I walked past in pajamas. At the beginning, I basked in it. I bragged to my friends about how my husband still acted like we were newly dating. They teased me, jealous and amused, and I loved the attention he gave me. It felt like proof of something special. But then life shifted. Work became overwhelming. My mother's health declined, and I spent countless nights balancing long hours, medical updates, and worry. I was drained in a way I'd never felt before. And somewhere in that exhaustion, the affection I once craved started to feel like pressure. Every hug turned into a signal for more. Every kiss carried an intensity one didn't have the energy for. I couldn't curl up beside him without feeling him growing aroused. Even a simple goodbye kiss became something deeper, heavier. It began to feel like he didn't know how to touch me without it becoming sexual. He wasn't forcing anything, he never pushed when I wasn't in the mood, but the constant undercurrent of desire made me tense. I wanted comfort. I wanted to be held without expectation. I wanted gentleness instead of heat. Quiet resentment started to form. I stopped reaching for him. I pulled away subtly. But Daniel didn't notice. To him, he was being the same passionate man he'd always been. He didn't see how badly I needed something different. And I never articulated it properly. I expected him to pick up on hints, to magically understand. Then came the night everything fell apart. I had an awful day, problems at work, tough news about my mom, and I walked through the door barely holding myself together. Daniel tried to help in the way he knew how. He cooked. He listened. He massaged my shoulders as I sank into the couch. And for a moment, his hands were soothing, until they weren't. His lips brushed my neck, his hands slid lower, and I felt his body reacting to me again. And all the tension, all the exhaustion, all the unspoken frustration snapped loose. "You always turn everything into sex. It's disgusting." The words came out sharp, cold, harsher than I intended. They hit him like a blow. He stepped back as though I'd shoved him. I'd never seen his face so blank. He whispered, "I'm attracted to my wife. I can't help that. It's normal." But I was raw and worn down and couldn't hear any of it. "I just want you to stop. I can't even hug you without you turning it into something else. I'm so tired of it." I remember watching the light fade in his eyes. Something quiet inside him shifted. He didn't argue or defend himself. He simply said, "Okay. I understand." And then he went to bed alone. That was the last time he touched me. At first, I figured he needed a little time to cool off. But days passed. Then weeks. Then months. And it wasn't just a pause, it was a complete transformation. The man who once couldn't walk past me without pulling me close now kept his distance like physical affection was dangerous. He only touched me if I initiated, and even then his hands were brief, careful, almost formal. No playful smacks, no lingering kisses, no warm arms around me on the couch. It was like living with a soft-spoken stranger who respected me too much to risk coming close. At first I felt relief. Then the silence in his touch became unbearable. I craved the very thing I pushed away. I missed being desired. I missed feeling like he wanted me not out of duty but out of instinct. When I finally brought it up, his answer gutted me. "You told me my desire was disgusting. I won't put you in that position again." He genuinely thought he was honoring my boundaries. He wasn't trying to punish me. But it felt like punishment anyway. By the 3rd month I tried everything, dressing up, flirting, wearing the lingerie he used to love. He smiled at me like a polite stranger. He didn't reject me, but he also didn't reach for me. Not once. Month 4 felt like we were housemates. Month 5 like we barely knew each other. He traveled for work, and for the first time, there was no ache of missing him. Our conversations were short and distant. When he returned, he seemed even colder, like someone who had already mentally stepped out of the marriage. And then, over dinner, the words I had been terrified of spilled out. "I don't think we're sexually compatible anymore. Maybe we should separate." I panicked. I begged him to listen. I told him I didn't want him to stop desiring me, I just needed him to slow down, to balance things, to understand me. But he only shook his head. You said my attraction to you was disgusting. I can't live wondering if my desire is a problem you resent. He admitted that while on his trip, a younger woman at a bar had flirted with him. Nothing happened, he insisted, but her attention made him realize how unwanted he had felt at home. I haven't felt like you've wanted me in months, he said. And I think that broke something. And that's where I'm stuck now. 6 months ago I thought I was expressing a need. I wanted gentler affection, not a total shutdown. But instead of communicating that clearly, I lashed out and called something precious to him disgusting. Now I might lose my marriage over a single moment of emotional fatigue. I don't know if this is my fault for the words I used, or his fault for withdrawing so completely instead of fighting for us. But I'm terrified that I've ruined everything. Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers.